thought I would do a video response because everybody else is doing a video response. And Matthew 4:19 is asking us, people who are atheists, why should I become an atheist? And it seems like a genuine interest that he has. He wants to know, I suppose, what are the benefits? What are the perks of becoming an atheist? And he wants an answer. He doesn't want people using this as an excuse to bash Christianity or religion. Hard to do that, but I'm going to give it a shot. Since I was a Christian for a long time, he mentions his cherished Christian lifestyle and giving it up. First of all, why do you think you would give it up? I have been an atheist for 4 years. I have not changed my lifestyle at all. I lost friends that turned out to not be friends after all. I guess there's a perk to becoming an atheist. You find out real fast who your real friends are. You can always find other ways to be around people and have close community, companionship. You know, there's certainly groups of people that you can, do fun things with. You don't have to be in a church group. You know, you can still, everything that you do right now as a Christian, you could do as an atheist. You can even be spiritual. You can go out into the world and look up at the sky and feel a sense of awe and wonder. And in fact, when I became an atheist, I have to say that increased significantly. Hard to explain that, but it's like I felt more in sync with the world. I felt a kinship with other life around me. I felt more in awe of just being alive, and just so much more appreciation for every single day. And I used to kind of look down my nose at this life and look down on my nose at the world, and who gives a rat's ass what we do to this world, because it's just going to be, we're throwing this away. There's going to be a new world, a new earth, a new Jerusalem. We're going to live forever. This is just a drop in the bucket compared to what's ahead. So really, who cares? The whole attitude that human beings are superior to other life, all that stuff. For me, that just evaporated. I never really had the whole superior to animals in the first place, but the connection I felt to other creatures in the world significantly increased. My empathy toward other life increased. I buried a dead crow the other day. There was a crow out in the backyard clawing its head off, and I didn't. It went on for like a day, and I finally went out there because I figured out there's got to be something that's really bugging this crow. And I went out there and I found probably what was his or her mate laying dead on the ground, and I buried it. And the crow hung around for maybe another 15 minutes, and then it flew away. But seeing its mate laying there dead obviously was very distressing to it, and it didn't want to leave. So it was basically being bound by it didn't want to leave its mate. Empathy for another life, and perception for the feelings or the whatever is going on in the head of another life on this planet. I kind of had it before, but it's just so much more now. I just feel so much more. Kinship is the best word I can come up with. Just my awareness of the world and my place in it, and how amazing it is that I'm alive, and how amazing it is that we are in this huge universe on a planet that supports life. It's mind-boggling how small we are, and yet here we are, So yeah, I'd say a greater appreciation for that. The spiritualism doesn't go away. If you're a spiritual person, you're still going to feel spiritual. You're still going to have, a connection. It's just a different connection. It's a connection to, like I said, it's a connection to the world and the universe and other people. And, everything isn't black and white anymore. You're not looking at somebody and judging them based on what a book says, or what some sentences in a book say. And I think you can appreciate art more. You can appreciate literature more. You don't have fears like you used to. I used to be afraid of listening to the song Hotel California because I was told it was satanic. I really thought it was an evil song. So I went the majority of my 20s never listening to that song. I had a fear of things that I was told were bad, And honestly, I don't care if what the song is actually singing. I don't know what they're singing in the song. But a song is not evil. A song is not bad. If you really want to talk about an evil song, listen to some of the lyrics in the Christian songs that people sing. Being washed in the blood of the Lamb and fountains of blood. I mean, I'm going to stop that train of thought. I don't want to bash the religions. That was part of the thing. No bashing of the religions, but I'm just saying, you can take the lyrics of any song and you can imagine whatever you want it to mean and make it something ugly and bad. So I'd say that those are some of the perks. Other people have said this before, and I have to repeat it. You don't become an atheist. It's something that happens. You come to the conclusion. You stop denying the questions that are in your head. You stop having tunnel vision. You start acknowledging the contradictions and acknowledging the things that don't make sense, and you start trying to put it together so it does make sense. And when you can't, you look for the pieces that are missing. You read the Bible and try to figure out what is missing, because something doesn't make sense and you want it to make sense. And whatever you learn from the experience of trying to find out what makes sense, you genuinely take it in. I mean, if you truly want the truth, if the truth matters to you, you need to be prepared to have it be something other than what you want it to be. And if you go in search of having your answers that you need so desperately to these questions that you've ignored for so long, these contradictions and errors and things that you just know didn't come from your God, and yet they're in the Bible, and the Bible's supposed to be 100% correct, right? The Bible's inspired by God. So you go searching for these answers to these questions, and you have to be honest with yourself when those answers come. You have to be prepared. I went looking for the answers because I had depression and I need to know what was delusion in my life. And so I faced those questions, those things that I ignored because it was just easier and more convenient and just less distressing, because it's really distressing to face something that is cherished to you, something that you've just taken as a given for so long in your life, and just part of how everything works as far as you're concerned, and watch it fall apart in front of you. Watch it just unravel and realize it's false, and realize that a huge chunk of your life was founded on false assumptions. It's distressing, and it's so much easier to just try to block it out and ignore it and just keep having that tunnel vision. But if you truly want to know the truth, if you truly want to be comfortable with the world, you don't want those questions in your head all the time, nagging at you in the back of your head, which is what I had for so many years. You bring the questions out. you find the answers. And you know what happens is sometimes when you go looking, the answers come and it's not what you wanted to hear. And it's even very upsetting, and it might even make you really sad. And then the next thing you know, it's just something that just kind of comes to you. It comes to you after a lot of trying to piece these things together based on the new information that you've gone in search of and have found. And it just comes to you one day, it just clicks in your head that God doesn't exist. And it's really, really hard. But then once it's something you understand and you start to get used to that, you start getting used to the idea of a world without a supernatural being in it, watching your every move and judging you, and somebody that's always there that you can lean on in times of trouble, realizing that you're all by yourself and you are responsible for your actions, and that if you do something to hurt somebody, it's up to you to make it right. Because there's no judge in the sky that's going to do anything to make it right for you, or, it's up to you to make it right. Asking God for forgiveness doesn't make it right with the person that you've wronged. So I don't know if this makes sense. I feel like for the first time in my life, and again, stressing you, it's a process. It's a thing that comes along that you don't ask for. When you become an atheist, it's not what you go looking for. It's something that happens when you go looking for answers. And you don't get the ones that you thought you want. Well, the ones that you thought would be there, the ones that you wanted to hear. A realization hits you, and suddenly you can't believe it anymore. Because there's just too many things staring you in the face telling you that it's not really true. And once you get to that point, you just can't go back. But I feel like I'm in charge of my life now. And the lifestyle, again, I have to stress, doesn't change. The only thing that changes is you might lose friends. And again, were they really your friends? You might lose family. People have lost family. Because this religion tells them that anybody who doesn't believe in it are followers of Satan, evil, bad, horrible people that you should avoid. So people who go in search of these answers, and find these answers, and are honest and honest about what the answers tell them and what the conclusions are. There is no God. They can lose family, and they have lost family. Atheists lose family, atheists lose friends. But you find out who your real friends are. You find out who really loves you and who really cares. And then you find out in short order what you're made of. You find out that you don't need to have a crutch. You don't need to have something to lean on all the time. You don't need to have somebody to talk to when you're down all the time. You don't need to have an audience whenever you do something well up there clapping because you did something well, you're just nice because you feel like you want to be nice to somebody. You're driven by empathy. People are like, well, where do atheists get their morals? We get it from empathy, from just the desire to, the kinship we feel to other life, and the desire to not do harm, and the desire to be a friend and to care. It's pure empathy. It's just, animals demonstrate it toward each other. It's not something special. It's just comes from being alive and appreciating life and understanding that it's, So, I don't know if I made any valid points here. Could never go back to what I was before. I honestly don't think that it was a better lifestyle. It was the same. The best parts of that lifestyle I haven't lost. I had to go looking for the same thing in different places, but I haven't lost it. I still, when I drink, it's wine coolers. And it's not, I don't drink. Of course, this is kind of a stupid thing to say because lots of Christians drink and smoke and do drugs and do all kinds of bad things. But the stereotypical idea of a Christian lifestyle is you're clean and you don't do drugs and you don't have sex before marriage and all that stuff. There's a lot of atheists that probably save themselves too. A lot of atheists who just don't want to, have sex until they find the right person who loves them. I'm sure it's not just something that Christians do. I'm sure there's very moral atheists who just choose to not until they find the right one. So whatever it is your idea of a Christian lifestyle, I'm sure there's plenty of atheists out there that have the same basic ideas as you as to how to live your life and how to be a good person and how to care for people and how to be there for people and how to appreciate a sunset. And there's just so much in the world. And I think the hardest part that I have about the religion that I'm glad I don't have anymore, what I don't miss, is the appreciation that's in every single day. I used to just dwell all the time on what horrible things people did to me and how unfair it all is and what a victim I am and blah blah blah. And when you realize that you only have one life and you realize that your time is very short and every day is like this huge, huge, amazing thing, you start making more of your day. You start making more of every moment. Part of my healing and getting over depression is because I've become an atheist and I've been able to let go of the things that weren't helping me and were in fact hurting me and costing me even more. And So yeah, I recommend, I don't recommend becoming an atheist because again, I don't think you can become an atheist. I recommend question. If truth matters to you, question what doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Find the answers. Don't be satisfied with the little pat answers that you've gotten since you were a kid. Oh, God works in mysterious ways. Who are we to question God? Is that an answer? Find an answer. There's a reason why there's no answers. You need to find the answers. If you really want to know what is true, then those questions that have been nagging at you for a really long time, you need to acknowledge them. You need to do whatever it takes to get an answer that is acceptable to you. I don't care if it makes you even more strong a Christian or whatever you are. If it makes you even more of a believer, great, whatever. Get those questions behind you. Put them out on the table. Find the answers. Stop ignoring them. And whatever the answers that come, accept them, embrace them, and don't be in denial. Because that's not going to make it better. You're always going to have that until you face them down and get to the point where you are happy and there's no more turmoil inside because it all makes sense to you. You have gotten all your answers that you needed and it all makes sense. Stop denying yourself the answers. Go get the answers. Go find the answers. Read the whole Bible. And don't run to your pastor to ask him to interpret things that seem strange. Use your own brain. Try to imagine the stories from different perspectives, not just the one they want you to imagine. Really think about what this story is and what has just happened and who let it happen. Anyway, so that's my answer. This wasn't supposed to get so long, but that's my answer. Face down the questions. You will either be a stronger theist because of it, or you will become an atheist. As much as it's possible to become an atheist, it's a process. If you get answers like I got answers, you will lose your belief. You will lose the ability to believe it. And when you don't believe it anymore, that's what you are. You're an atheist. That's all an atheist is. It's just somebody who isn't able to believe anymore. And it's not a horrible thing. The only thing bad about being an atheist is theists who have these ideas that we're bad, horrible people just because we don't believe anymore. When we were just the other day, just like them, believing the same things they did until we went and searched out answers to our questions. Suddenly we're bad people because of that. That's the only bad thing. The theists make us out to be Satan followers, bad people. And that's just because they're ignorant. That's because they listen to... Anyway, I'm again not going to go there. We're not going to bash the religion. So that's it. I'm going to end this video. I hope I gave some kind of answer in all this talking. So if you've been watching, thanks. Bye.